Welcome back to Sales Sprint, everybody. This week, we're showing you strategies to kick the dust up a little bit and build momentum with your sales, your inquiries, your bookings, all the good things, all the things that I know you're here live right now you want. And I have a guest. We have a guest. This warrants spirit hands because we have a guest. Everybody, welcome Korrine Johnson, the magnificent seven-figure travel advisor, cruise expert, systems extraordinaire, all of the things. We're chatting today about bookings that you might be missing out on and how you can tap into those bookings in some simple ways in your business. So, hello and welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. This is all the stuff I love talking about.
Absolutely. And you're so good at it and just have a knack for breaking it down in a way that's really easy to understand. So we're excited to have you. If you're joining us live, jump in the chat, say hello, tell us where you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from you. But we have, offline, we talk about systems all the time. And I feel like it is a trendy conversation right now, rightfully
Mhm.
so, because I think we're all getting to the point in our lives where we're like, can I maybe work a little less? Can I maybe do a little bit less in my business? Where can I find ease? What can I do to just like not have all the pressure on me? And that's why I love what you do, because that's exactly what the system that you help travel advisors build and create does for them.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So the thing is we do want to do a little less. We do want to have a little more ease, but we don't want to make less money. That's the key. In fact,
Indeed.
the goal is obviously do less, make more, right? So um the way to do that is systems. That's just the bottom line. I just did a consultation session yesterday and she was just listing off all the things that she has to do. She has reminders on her phone every Tuesday, check and see who needs an insurance quote. All these things that are done manually. She has some reminders set up, but I'm like, this could all be automated. You could set it and forget it, create yourself a workflow. You don't have to manually do any of those things. And it will just give you back so much of your time.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about we want to work less, but we want to make more money. And that's really what all
Mm,
this session is all about, creating systems that allow you to do that. And this is why I always say that, like, there is a fountain of untapped bookings in so many travel advisors' businesses, because if they could figure out how to set systems in place to nurture the clients that they get in the door, because so often we focus on the acquisition, the social media, the email marketing, and then boom, that client comes in the door. We're excited, we're happy, we book them a trip, and then what? What happens after that?
crickets, crickets.
Crickets. Yes. And it's such a missed opportunity because it's so much easier to nurture the clients that you have versus going out there and building the trust, the credibility with someone completely new who doesn't know you and getting them to book. So,
Mhm.
truly, the nurturing piece of your whole client experience, that is what's missing from so many travel advisors' businesses. And that's what can unlock way more bookings.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is we want to turn every client into a lifelong client. Not only a lifelong client, but a super fan who tells everyone they know about you. And you can't do that if you book them and ghost them. The best way to make a client trust you completely is to make sure they always know what to expect. So if you have touch points that you can send out that can be fully automated, by the way, to make sure all of my templates are set up in a here's what you need to do now, here's what you need to be thinking about next. So they always know what's coming next. They always know what to expect. I have do your out of office message, program your thermostat. I mean, these people don't even have to like fire this brain up. They can just follow the checklist that I give them and they will be ready for their trip. And because of that, they don't think about looking elsewhere when they want to book their next cruise. Since I'm cruise only, that keeps things easy. They're not sniffing around Costco because they know I'm going to make sure they are prepared for everything. And that also causes them to tell their coworkers, their family, when you're at parties, what does everybody talk about? Travel makes it so easy because not only am I making sure they're prepared for everything, I'm also top of mind because of the touch points. They never forget
Absolutely.
about me, and they know that I'm never forgetting about them because of these timed out touch points.
It is like the secret weapon to looking like the travel advisor that can do it all because
Yep.
you don't need to know that things are automated. That's none of their business. What they're seeing is somebody who's on top of it, who's reminding them of things they didn't think of, and really is like fulfilling that promise that travel advisors make of like making things easy, making things seamless, giving the traveler ease. Truly, like that nurturing process shows them that you're really looking out for them.
I want to address too what you just said, that they don't need to know it's automated. My clients know it's automated. I'm 100% repeat business at this point. I don't even take new
Got
clients at
it.
this point in my career. They don't care. All they know is that I'm going to remind them what they need to do when it needs to be done, and they can count on me for that consistency. So I
Absolutely.
find that a lot of times I talk to people and they're afraid to automate because they think every single thing needs to be personal. Those checklists do not. There are things that you should personalize. During your onboarding process, nothing should be automated. During your post trip follow up, nothing should be automated. All of that should be personal. But pre trip checklists that we're just preparing them, those can be automated, no problem. The other thing I've been focusing on a lot lately, and I just did a day long workshop at TPI's Cruise Symposium, is how to leverage AI to create at least one wow moment that is hyper personalized, because that is going to erase any possible doubts about the automated templates when you deliver them something super personalized, and you can create things in just minutes now because of AI. But I am here to tell you, your clients don't care that those checklists are automated. They just care that they get them so they know what to do and when to do it. Don't get
Absolutely.
hung up.
And I speak from experience who just came back from a trip with a travel advisor who planned it for me and they used your systems. They used
Yes.
your workflows to nurture me throughout my pre-travel experience, during and after. And I loved it. I didn't have to think about anything. Mostly I was scanning the emails, but I appreciated just having them in my inbox so I could refer to them and boom, boom, boom. Okay, I have my key points. This is talking about currency. Great. Now I know what I need to go to the bank and get. And it was just a flawless experience from end to end. And I kept thinking, these are Korean systems that she's using. These are Korean systems. But it was awesome as like being the traveler on the other end, seeing how useful it is to have that information. And again, it makes you look like the rock star that's doing it all for that. And that's the key because that's when they're going to repeat business. They're going to come to you again and again, and they're going to refer you to other people and brag about you. And, they're not getting that at Costco. They're going to look at their friend at the party and be like, oh, your travel advisor doesn't tell you this,
Yeah.
and this, and all these other things before you go on your trip. What do you mean?
Yep. Absolutely. And it feels intimidating at first because it does take some time and effort to set up. But once you have it set up, it's so easy after that. So you kind of have to, I can't remember what the saying is. You got to stop time to make time, or whatever it is. Like, you need
Absolutely.
to just take a little bit of time up front, and then you can just easily roll these out every time after that. And you don't have to touch everything. That's the huge part of it.
Absolutely. I think we always wait for this like more time to happen. I'll do it when I have more time. But this is one system where it's like you got to clear your calendar and make it happen because it will serve you. This is truly the fountain of untapped bookings. If you're not looking to your existing clients for more bookings, the people that have already booked with you at least once, you're missing out because those people you've already served them at least once. They've already given you their money at least once. They're going to be the path of least resistance to increasing your bookings. And the best part of this automation is that you do that work once, you know for a fact that people are being nurtured without you having to do anything. Because if you're
Yep.
relying on yourself to do it every Tuesday, every Thursday, there's always going to be something that pops up. And systems is all about creating that space for yourself so you can breathe and not have to stress and not have to worry that, like, oh, is this getting done? Is that getting done? You just know. And I have to say that if I'm ranking like my top three things of importance in any business, any travel business, this has got to be like very close to the top, maybe number one, maybe right after sales and marketing, because of course you need a lead flow. But second to that is you need something that's going to retain those people and keep them coming back.
Yes, and the problem is people get stuck on focusing on that first part, just like you talked about, the client acquisition. Well, if you want to be running on a hamster wheel through your entire career because all you're doing is hustling for new clients, new clients, new clients, I mean, that is That's an option. You can do that. But ideally, you want to use acquisition to get some clients in the door, and then you want to keep them there forever. Like you said, it's the
Mhm.
path of least resistance. You can close everything faster. There's no getting to know each other. It saves so much time. It is so much more efficient, which means it is more profitable and more scalable. So it's really important not to get stuck in the sales and marketing and the client acquisition and not. I have so many times I've heard people say, well, I'll do that later when I get more clients. And I'm like, you should be doing this from client one, because client one could result in 5 more clients. Much easier than what it's taking you to come up with your marketing strategy and think of all these different stories and reels and whatever, which are important, but this is easier and more profitable. So why wouldn't you give it as much weight? I think is really what it is. It needs to be equal weight.
Absolutely. And as somebody whose focus is on the other side, which is the reels, the posting, the emails, all of that stuff, I can say that you can only run on that hamster wheel for so long before you get really, really tired. And this
Yep.
is one of those things where I'm guilty of it. I did it in my first business and in my first few years of running a business, thinking, oh, I'll do that when I have more time, more time, more time, more time. More time never comes. You have to very
It's not coming.
intentionally.
You have to
It's
make it.
exactly. It is a unicorn. It's a mythical creature. It's never going to happen. You have to make it. And it's one of those things that's such a push, but once you do it, oh, the reward is chef's kiss beautiful, because now you can breathe a little bit easier. You know your people are being nurtured, and you don't have to work so hard on that. There's less pressure on you on the sales and marketing side, because you know you've got people who they're ready. They booked with you once. Path of
And
least
you've
resistance.
probably got testimonials now because you did such a great job with your client experience that they're more likely to give you some feedback.
Absolutely. So that is exactly what we're doing at the Altitude Conference this October. And Korene's going to be there as our client experience systems expert to show you guys how to set this up in your own businesses, because it's about intentionally carving out the time. And that's exactly what we're doing at Altitude over those 3 or 4 days to get you those sales and marketing systems put into place. And I consider this part of the sales system because, yes, it is client experience. Yes, it is post sale, but it will result in other sales. It's like the
Correct.
last piece of the puzzle. So at the conference, we're going to show you how to attract more people. We're going to show you the things that will get more people booking, get more people saying yes at the end of your discovery calls. But the last piece of that is to keep them as a forever client. So you're not churning constantly trying to run that hamster wheel of more clients, but nurturing people so they come back again and again. And that is the hack I wish someone had taught me in my first few years in business, is focusing on the client nurturing and less on the marketing and the pulling more people in, because it's a leaky bucket at the end of the day if you're not
Yep.
focusing on that client experience piece. It's going to constantly just feel like you're putting sand in a bucket with holes in it, and it's just going to keep emptying. That client experience plugs the little holes in the bucket so people are retained and they fill your bucket for you, because they're going to go brag about you to their friends and their family.
Yeah, so not only that, there are sometimes opportunities to use these touch points and this client experience to make passive income. So one example is in the cruise workflow. Most all cruise lines really, if your client books on board, you get the credit. So why wouldn't you encourage your client to take a look while they're on board? There is no time that someone's more excited to book their next trip than when they're on the current trip, right?
Of
The
course.
salespeople on board those ships are like no other. Those people, they make timeshare sales people look like chumps. They are so effective. They are so good. They're so good at upselling, and you get the commission. So one of the emails that I send out is like, hey, the best time to book a cruise is when you're on a cruise. They have special perks. You should swing by the desk, whatever. And then boom, I get an invoice in my email saying so and so booked. Now I'm gonna set them up with my client experience, but the hard work is done. The sale is closed, but I get
Mm.
that commission. And then you can also do that with things like tours. If you have a Viator affiliate link or Project Expedition or something like that, you can kind of nudge them. TravelJoy even has integrated, you could suggest tours in their itinerary that they can click on and book themselves. So there are opportunities to add a little gravy to the mix
We love a little
through these
gravy.
nurture points. Yes.
Absolutely. Gravy is that's my favorite thing, especially when gravy's actually money in the
Yeah.
bank. Fantastic. So I love that these are all the little hacks and things that maybe you don't necessarily think about because you are so in the business, focus on the sales, focus on serving the clients in the form of the itinerary building and all that stuff, and less so on the post trip nurturing or the like dynamic things that will create more revenue in your business. And this is exactly what we're taking a pause to focus on at the conference. So Korinne's going to be there sharing some of her best kept secrets on how to do this stuff, how to get this stuff in place. But better than that, we're doing the work together while we're there. So
Right.
you can leave the conference with some things done, some systems, some ideas that you can put into play to make these systems run more efficiently in your business or set them up for the first time.
Yeah,
Uh,
this is
so
not like where you sit and watch infomercials all day and take a few notes. We are going to workshop it, baby.
Absolutely. And you're going to have an expert in the room in the moment, because how frustrating is it when you leave a conference, you're excited, you're like, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm going to do that thing that speaker on stage said. But then you get home and you're like, wait, but how? How do I do that? I don't know. I don't have anyone to ask. So it's going to be a really nice mix of uh, taking a refresh for yourself personally. Corinne and I both can attest to how important it is to fill up your own cup and pour into yourself and then pour into the business from there. But it's also going to be an intimate experience where you will have the expert there with you, Corinne in this case, and some of our other experts are going to be showing you things like how to attract more leads and inquiries, how to close those inquiries, how to get on sales calls, be more confident, and let things flow nicely so you get yeses. And then, of course, our arrival, which is how to get more of your clients booking again and again so you don't have to work so hard. It's going to be great. We're really
That's the
looking forward
beauty.
to it.
Yes.
So if you're live with us right now, comment conference, you'll get all the details. But before I let you go, Corinne, I wanted to ask you a few more questions. First
Okay.
things first, from your perspective, what are some of like the top 3 key pieces of a client workflow or client experience workflow or client experience in general, not necessarily just the workflow that people need in place in their business?
Well, one thing I really stress is that we want to keep the excitement of the booking going because, as you know, the anticipation is a huge part of the process. So when you close a booking, don't just send a receipt. You need to send an email like you're officially booked. Woohoo. It can be as enthusiastic or sophisticated as you like, but like your booking is official. Here are some things you may want to look at. So again, going back to my cruise workflow, I might have Celebrity has a little prep guide that I've linked. I'm giving them things to explore and play with to keep that planning excitement going. Of course, we already talked about the trip prep checklist. So I start with cruises 180 days. With other types of trips, they're usually not booked out that far, but we have 60 days, 30 days. You talked about the money tips that you got to remind you, like, don't bring your Discover card to Europe. Nobody's going to take it, you know?
Yeah,
and how you need to let your credit cards know. I mean, we assume people know this because we're so immersed in travel, but a lot of
absolutely.
people don't. So you have to remember not to make any assumptions about what people already know. Um, and of course, we want to have a bon voyage, letting them know how to reach us in case of emergency during travel. And then your post trip follow up is super important too. Now, there are times I don't add a post trip workflow because I don't ever want to talk to the person again, and that's fine. You know, we have that choice. But
Right.
those should really be personalized. You want to pull that person back into the fold. Um, but really, there's just some basic touch points along the way that make a huge difference in keeping you top of mind and keeping your client prepared. And then, like I said, I've been really focusing lately on creating one wow moment. So with AI now, we can create some pretty spectacular, completely customized port guides. So speaking to the clients by name, addressing their particular interest, also covering things that they should be able to book through the cruise line. You can do this in 5 or 10 minutes between ChatGPT and Gamma. Or if you use Turn, they have an integrated AI that can help you build out the guide itself, do custom food maps. Um, Custom audio guides are something you can do. Again, speaking directly. I like to do this for families that they can listen to on the way to the airport or the cruise port, like essential phrases in the language that they're going to visit. Just one thing that's super personalized and shareable because we
Mhm.
want them saying, oh my gosh, look what my travel advisor made me. You're not going to believe this. Look at this food map. I don't eat gluten. And she just showed me all these places in Rome that have special gluten-free dishes or vegetarian or vegan or Florence wine windows we did in my membership one day. We were just playing around with all the different things you can make. Hobbies things like a photography map. What are the best places to do photography? And then you can layer on what are the best snacks to have in between shooting locations. There's just the sky's
So
the
many
limit,
things.
but because of AI, it can be accomplished in
Mhm.
minutes. It's not that you couldn't have done these things before, it's just that who has the time? Instead of hours, it's
Nobody.
minutes now. Yeah.
I'm so happy you brought up AI, and that is juicy, juicy information because of course, people are gonna be impressed by that. Of course, they're gonna be, "Wow." That is something that Costco could never. So, I
Never.
love that as a client experience piece, but it's so easy now with AI, like you said, and that's what we're gonna be breaking down at the conference is how to leverage AI. That's gonna be a big part in every session of what we're doing is to show you how to leverage it to save yourself time and be able to customize these experiences for your clients and ultimately just make your life easier, make things flow better, but also give you the tools that you need to really like lean in because there are some unique opportunities now thanks to tools like Gamma, which we talk about all the time, but it's just so
Yep.
good. It's so, so good. So if you take nothing away from this session today, at least take away that you should go look at Gamma. It's great.
Yep.
Absolutely. Any other tools that you're using right now that are like absolutely top of the top, really, really good for AI, create content creation, um, writing in particular, and or client workflows or anything else that you think travel advisors should know about?
Well, if you're not using Turn, Traveljoy, or Travify, those three are the most tech forward right now. And I think they're going to continue. The competition is fierce. It's a great time to be a travel advisor because we have choices now. We used to have like maybe one decent CRM, and now we have some really strong competitors. So you should be leveraging one of those to help you automate a lot of this client experience process and just keep everything streamlined. It just saves so much time in your day to day. I use ChatGPT almost exclusively for writing. I have to yell and scream and have it remove M dashes. And of course, I have to edit. You do not want to copy and paste things from ChatGPT directly into anything, not an email, not a caption, but it gives you a great first draft or at least
Absolutely.
some really good ideas that you can work from. That is a huge shortcut. And then, like we said, Gamma, I use Gamma to teach you how to use Gamma. I mean, it's just like you can do slideshows, digital documents, websites. I use it for all kinds of things because it's so impressive looking and it's so fast. And in fact, in the cruise symposium, we were doing custom port guides. And I actually don't need, I just remembered I don't need ChatGPT anymore. Gamma has gotten to the point where I can throw the prompt directly into Gamma and have it generate the port guide.
We
So
love to
it's
hear it.
constantly improving. So you got to try things. Um, but I am mostly relying on ChatGPT and Gamma these days. And then, like, I've been experimenting because I will be speaking at the Turn user conference next month, and we will go over some of this stuff and how to integrate the Turns AI to create some really special things to, again, just make it as simple and as streamlined as possible.
Absolutely. Very juicy. And I we had a talk yesterday about ChatGPT and making sure they're editing content before they're using it. But
Yep.
that is a session that we're also going to be doing with Kate Thomas at Travel Pro Theory. So if you're not really sure how to navigate using AI or really don't know where to start with training it to sound a little bit more like you and staying true to you and your brand, we're gonna that there will be a session all about that. So we're all sort of like using the same tools in different ways in our
Yep.
businesses, which is really beautiful. We're going to touch on ChatGPT in my session on content and messaging. We're going to be touching on it in Kate's session. Of course, she's showing you how to lay the foundation for all of it. And of course, we'll be touching on in Korrine's sessions too on client experience. So it's all going to be a really full circle opportunity for you to finally take a breath and set up the systems you need to attract more people, get more bookings, and keep nurturing them so they keep booking with you. But
Yep.
ultimately, we're weaving AI into all of that to just make everybody's life easier. So it's going to be a really, really good time this October. We're also leaving lots of time to sip a little spritz by the pool and enjoy yourself and really just take a moment for you too. I feel like Q4, you've hustled at that point by the end of October. Oh, by the end of October, you will have hustled for quite a few months. So it'll be a good opportunity to just take a pause for yourselves as well. We will definitely be sipping spritzes by the pool.
But that's also the best chatting time. Peer to peer share, that sharing is where there's a lot of magic. And so once you've sat through a session that we make your poor little brain melt out of your ear, but then you go sit by the pool and you get yourself a spritz and you share, like, I think I'll use it this way. Well, I was thinking this, and it's just magic. That's where the magic is.
Absolutely. And we can both attest to that. We have been masterminding together for I think the last 3 or 4 years now. In
Yes.
person, we dedicate time to, yes, work, but a lot of it is also just conversation. And I think some of our best ideas as business people, as business owners, has come out of those in-person meetings and sessions.
Yeah. I have to tell you guys, when we get together, we will literally talk and talk and talk until our mouth hurts and then be like, "Do you want to go take a nap?" We will go take a nap and we will wake up and immediately jump in like the conversation never even paused, just right back to it. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, the talking is insane. But when you get to be around your peers who are trying to accomplish similar things or at a similar place in their business, that's what you need to be doing, picking each other's brains, giving each other ideas. I started Cruise Business Blueprint last year. That came from being with Nikita and Kate and them helping me validate the idea and what it would be like. It's just magic. So being in a conference like this where the person arranging the conference will actually give you the time to do this is pretty great, because sometimes they just wear you out morning to night. You have no time to implement, you have no time to discuss, then you go home and your head is spinning. So the fact that Nikita recognizes this and is going to make the space for you to actually figure out how to implement this and rely on each other to help, it's going to be business, if not life changing.
I can attest to the fact that every time we have a mastermind, um, it's business changing and life changing. I mean, it's beautiful to, of course, like grow the business and do all of those things, but we also get to pour into ourselves. And it's just like so therapeutic to be around other people who get it, who are on the same wavelength as us. It's just like so nice to not have to explain, explain,
Yep,
explain, explain. Kimberly says, I can't wait for you to melt my brain. So
we're
we're looking.
going to.
Nonstop to Paradise says, this is one thing I miss about being in an office environment, the brain stamming. And then Vicky says, can you explain a little bit about what you use Gamma for? I think you explained a little bit already, which is like personalized client experience stuff like port guides, maps, information. You really can use it for anything, websites, presentations, all of it.
Yeah, I use it to make port and destination guides. I like to use the document version for that. And I will just go to ChatGPT, or now, like I said, I've been experimenting with the internal AI generation inside Gamma or Turns integrated to create a guide. And then I just feed it in and it just makes it pretty. Same thing for presentation slides. If you have to do a presentation, I know a lot of people are creating beautiful itineraries in there. So if you want to drag in, you can give it a prompt like they're going on this cruise or escorted tour, or just paste in the itinerary. It can just make it pretty. And there is nothing more satisfying for me when I do this presentation and I demo it and I pop it in and it just starts populating on the screen. Everyone in the room is like, oh my gosh. Like
Pretty magical.
it does so much of the work for you. We used to go in Canva's pretty easy, but you still have to pretty manually get everything together.
Mhm.
Gamma, you just feed it the information and it makes it beautiful, and you can still tweak it. You can change out photos. It's kind of like ChatGPT where you get that incredible first draft and you just have to polish it up and make it yours, and then you're good to go.
Absolutely. I can attest to the magic. It's so, so good, and it really gives you, like, 80% of the way done, and you really just only have to make some quick tweaks, and I
Yep.
love me some Canva, but it could never. Maybe one of these
I
days, but
hope
right
it
now,
will. I
never.
keep thinking they're going to catch up because it's a wonderful company. But so far, no.
Not
Gamma
yet.
and Gamma does have a free version, so you can try it out. I do have the paid version because I wanted some of those extra features, but you can get away with a lot on the free version.
Absolutely. I see Jesse says, "Will we have a Facebook group for those attending? We're considering a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group. We'll be sending out information in early September to get everybody fully informed about all the sessions, what's happening, what to pack, all the good stuff, and then give you an opportunity somewhere, whether it's Facebook or WhatsApp, to start connecting with your fellow travel advisors before we arrive.
Yeah.
It's going to be good." Yeah. So if anybody's interested in joining us this October in Cancun. I like to say it is a conference, but it's almost like a workcation in a lot of cases. We're doing a lot of things that are work related, but taking the time for fun and enjoyment as well. And all you need to do is comment conference. We'll send you the details. Any last words?
I was
Anything?
just thinking it is kind of like you're taking our workations that we always do and just opening it up to everybody. And I so desperately want everyone in our community to experience that type of fellowship, business building, growth. Like we've both said it's been so business changing and personally changing for us. So having an opportunity to do that on a larger scale is really exciting. I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I don't know that I shared this with you, but I looked at my numbers recently because I wanted to see, has there been a correlation to my personal investment in time of coming to retreats and to masterminds and taking time and space for this? And we, I think, started officially meeting in person in 2020. When was the first time?
Was the end of 2021.
It was the end of 2021. My business has grown 40 to 50% year over year since then. 40 to 50% growth in my business year over year. Every single time we meet, I come up with a new idea. I get clarity. I know exactly what to do to implement, and the business just grows and grows and grows. So, this is an investment in your bottom line at the end of the day and putting those systems in place that are going to do the work. But we both know that it's actually not the work a lot of the times that leads to the best ideas, the best things happening in the business. It's so oftentimes the conversations that are happening behind the scenes or after the sessions.
It is, and it's the mindset growth. The mindset growth is what positions you to do the things that need to get done to take your business to wherever you want to take it. So
We
it's
both
it's
know.
such a killer investment, you know, just to be around other people who want what you want and who are excited to learn about the things that you want to learn about. That sharing and collaboration.
Absolutely. And that you're absolutely right in that the mindset piece really is the key to everything. So we are spending time on that too. We're not just going to dive right into the work quite when we get there. We have some special activations ready for you guys to just really like open up what you think is possible for you and open up what you think that you can do in your business. And that's so important to allowing the growth to happen. So we can't wait. It's going to be amazing this October. Everybody, comment conference. We'll send you all the details and we hope to see you there. Thank you, Korrine, so much for joining us. And I mean, listen, you're magic. So anybody who gets to be in a room with you this October is just going to be all the better for it. Cannot wait.
Mm, thank you. The same goes to you.
All right, everyone. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll catch you all later.
Bye.